In today's video, I'm about to blow your mind by showing you how to use AI to generate insane 4K quality visuals, incredibly high quality short videos like these, and even build a brand that can literally make you money, all for free using Claude AI and Higgsfield. Seriously, this is insane. Just look at the quality. It looks absolutely incredible. You can create content that's good enough for ads, commercials, TV spots, and premium social media campaigns. It's honestly that good. So without any further ado, let's dive right in. By the end of this video, we're either going to build an entire brand from absolutely nothing, or we're going to find out where AI still falls short. No templates, no pre-made assets, no shortcuts, just one idea and a blank screen. So let's see how far we can actually push this. The first thing we need is Claude, and then Higgsfield MCP. If you've never used MCP before, the easiest way to think about it is this. Claude is the brain. It does the thinking, the planning, the decision-making. Higgsfield MCP is what allows those ideas to become something you can actually create. Instead of jumping between 10 different tools and trying to manage everything yourself, you can keep the entire creative process inside one workflow. And that's exactly what we're testing today. Right now, we don't have a business. We don't have a product. We don't have a brand. We don't even have a name. We're starting with literally nothing. So instead of picking a random product myself, I want Claude to do what every successful business does before spending a single dollar. Research. I ask it to look for profitable markets, study existing competitors, identify gaps, and recommend a product that actually has potential. I'm not feeding it ideas. I'm letting it think through the problem on its own. All right, it's already working. One thing I really like about Claude is that you can actually follow its reasoning. It's comparing different niches, eliminating weak ideas, weighing competition against demand, looking at what customers actually want instead of chasing trends. This isn't just random text appearing on the screen. It's walking through its thought process step by step. And honestly, that's probably the most important part. Because if you choose the wrong product, everything that comes after becomes 10 times harder. Okay, that's interesting. I definitely wasn't expecting that recommendation. But after reading through the reasoning, it actually makes sense. There's a clear audience, there's room in the market, and more importantly, it's a product we can actually build a brand around. So, let's do it. Now comes the fun part. Creating the brand. This is where I wanted to take a slightly different approach. Instead of immediately generating logos and images, I wanted Claude to help shape the identity first. Because good branding isn't just about making something that looks nice. It's about making everything feel connected. So we start talking through the fundamentals. What should the brand represent? Who is it for? What kind of personality should it have? Should it feel premium, minimal, playful, luxury? Every decision changes the direction of the entire brand. Once we have that foundation, we move on to the name. Claude starts suggesting different options, explaining the thinking behind each one, instead of simply giving me a list. Some are memorable, some are too complicated, some don't really fit the audience we're trying to reach. After going back and forth, we finally land on one that actually feels right. Simple, clean, easy to remember. The kind of name that could genuinely exist outside of this experiment. Garbage. The logo. Now this wasn't about pressing one button and magically getting the perfect design. It was much more collaborative than that. We're discussing different styles, different symbols, different directions the brand could take. Claude explains why certain ideas work better than others, and how each design would influence the way people perceive the company. It's less like using a logo generator, and more like brainstorming with a creative director. Once we're happy with that direction, we move into colors and typography. Again, this isn't random. Every color communicates something. Every font creates a different impression. A luxury brand shouldn't feel playful. A modern brand shouldn't feel outdated. Everything has to work together, and the same goes for the packaging. Before creating anything visually, we're talking through the concept first. What materials would make sense? How minimal should the design be? Where should the logo sit? How should someone feel when they first pick up the product? Those conversations are what make a brand feel intentional, instead of randomly assembled. After working through all of those ideas, we finally have something solid. A clear identity, a consistent direction, and a brand that actually feels believable. Now it's time to see it. Instead of jumping straight into product renders, we create a polished brand visualization first. This is where everything we've discussed starts coming together. We can finally move into generating the actual product visuals. So I asked Claude to generate professional product photography. It's generating. Okay, that genuinely surprised me. The lighting looks natural. The materials look convincing. The branding stays consistent across every render. Even the little details feel intentional. These don't look like random AI outputs. They look like photographs from a real product shoot, and that's a really good sign. Because if the product images don't look believable, nothing else we're about to create will either. But if this quality stays consistent, things are about to get really interesting. Now that we have clean studio product images, I don't just want to stop there, because products don't exist in a vacuum. People don't buy a bottle sitting on a white background. They buy the feeling, the lifestyle, the story around it. So the next challenge is simple. Can Claude take this product and place it into the real world? Let's find out. Instead of another studio setup, I'm asking for lifestyle photography, images that actually sell the experience. The product sitting on a bathroom counter, on a bedside table, in someone's daily routine. The kind of photos you'd expect to see from a premium brand on Instagram. Alright, these are exactly what I was hoping for. The product doesn't feel pasted into the scene. It belongs there. The lighting matches. The reflections look natural. Even the environments fit the personality we established earlier. And that's something I was paying close attention to. Consistency. Because it's surprisingly easy for AI to create one good image. It's much harder to make 20 different images that all feel like they're part of the same campaign. So far, it's doing a really good job. But images are only half the story. Today, every product launch needs video. Whether it's an advertisement, a social media campaign, or a launch trailer, motion grabs attention in a way static images simply can't. So naturally, I wanted to push things even further. Instead of asking for another image, I'm asking Claude to help create a full commercial. Not a slideshow, not a bunch of animated pictures, an actual product advertisement, with cinematic shots, smooth camera movement, professional lighting, and the kind of pacing you'd expect from a real campaign. Alright.
If your senior dog hesitates on stairs, this is Spry. The lift harness is soft, secure, and gives just enough support without making it feel medical. You can decide when I'm ready. Support for every step.
That opening shot already looks impressive. The camera movement feels intentional. The transitions are smooth. The product stays consistent from shot to shot. And everything feels much more polished than I honestly expected. What's interesting is that it doesn't feel like random AI clips stitched together. It actually feels like someone planned these shots. Almost like there was a storyboard before the camera started rolling. Could a professional filmmaker improve it? Absolutely. But considering how quickly this came together, it's hard not to be impressed. Now imagine scaling this. Instead of spending days planning one advertisement, you could experiment with 5, 10, maybe even 20 completely different concepts before choosing your favorite. That's a completely different way of thinking about creative work. But we're not finished yet. Because polished commercials aren't the only thing brands rely on anymore. Some of the highest performing content online doesn't even look like an advertisement. It looks like someone casually picked up their phone, recorded a quick video, and shared their experience. That's where UGC comes in. User-generated content. So I wanted to see if Claude understood the difference. Instead of another cinematic commercial, I'm asking for content that feels natural. Simple product showcases. Everyday moments. Short-form videos that look like they were created by real customers instead of a production team. Interesting. The entire style changes. The pacing becomes more relaxed. The framing feels handheld. The overall presentation feels much less polished. And that's actually the point, because authenticity often performs better than perfection. Especially on platforms like TikTok and Instagram Reels. It's a completely different type of content, yet it still feels connected to the same brand. That's something I didn't expect it to understand this well. Now let's move beyond creating visuals, because having beautiful content doesn't automatically sell products. People still need a reason to stop scrolling, to click, to care. So I wanted to see how Claude handled the marketing side. First up, social media. Instead of treating every platform the same, Claude adapts the strategy depending on where the content will be posted. Instagram focuses on polished visuals, strong captions, and maintaining a consistent aesthetic. Everything feels intentional, like you're looking at a real brand that's been posting for months. Then we move over to TikTok.
POV, your dog is getting older. Mine started hesitating at the stairs, so we tried this spray lift harness. It's quick to buckle and the support is gentle. We started using spray and it actually helped.
Completely different approach, shorter hooks, faster pacing, more personality, more emphasis on grabbing attention immediately. Same product, same brand, completely different communication style. And honestly, that's exactly how it should be, because copying the same content across every platform almost never works. Each audience expects something different.
Okay, this packaging though, it's spry. The tissue is so satisfying. Look, in Inside is this Taruta dog lift harness and traction socks. It's neatly packed, feels quality, and honestly makes me excited to use.
Some of these are actually really strong. The hooks are clear, the messaging stays consistent with the brand, and instead of sounding robotic, it feels surprisingly natural. It's not trying too hard. It's simply highlighting the product in a way that makes you curious.
My senior golden retriever froze at the stairs, slipping on hardwood. This spry lift harness, one click, super supportive, gave him confidence again.
At this point, most people would probably call it a day. So, let's look at what we actually accomplished today. We started with absolutely nothing, no product, no identity, no direction, just an idea, and a blank screen. From there, we researched the market, found a product worth building, developed a complete brand identity, worked through the creative direction, built a visual concept, generated professional product photography, created lifestyle imagery, produced cinematic commercials, made UGC-style content, planned social media, developed advertising ideas, and explored launch strategies, all inside a single workflow. That's honestly kind of incredible. Now, does this mean AI can replace an entire creative agency today? I don't think so. Great creative work still needs human judgment, taste, experience, storytelling, knowing what feels right. AI can't replace that, at least not yet. But I also don't think that's the right question anymore. The real question is, how much faster can creative people work when they have tools like this? Because that's what impressed me the most. Not that AI did everything, but that it removed so much of the friction between having an idea and actually bringing it to life. Instead of spending weeks moving from one stage to another, you can explore ideas almost instantly, test different directions, experiment without worrying about the cost of every single revision. That completely changes the creative process. And I think that's where the real value is. So now I want to hear from you. Forget that AI helped build it. If you saw this brand online, would you trust it? Would the product catch your attention? Would the commercials make you stop scrolling? And if you had Claude connected to Higgsfield MCP, what would you build first? Because after everything we just created, I don't think the biggest limitation is the technology anymore. I think it's the imagination of the person sitting behind the keyboard. And to think, everything you watched today started with a single idea. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this walkthrough helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.